So recording is started. Cool. So we discussed about this Jenkins right so far. So now we will talk about multi-branch pipeline. So what is multi-branch pipeline and why do we use that? So multi-branch pipeline is going to be like this. So now we have added the jobs right in the as a pipeline. So we would be using the same thing, but we add multi-branch pipeline. Can you guys hear me okay?
What you have
Now?
said, we didn't.
Yeah. Because I turned on the mobile, so the Bluetooth went over there. So yeah, so now you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So multi-branch pipelines are going to provide you a flexibility that you don't need to create the job again and again. Okay, so now we have a repo, right? So we have this Maven repo, and this Maven repo has a job. Parallel job is there, right? So whenever, no, so this sample Maven job is there, right? So whenever I create the branch, whenever I commit something, it come and run execute here because we have added a hook, right? So now let's talk about a typical scenario of a company. So if you have a development team, so who are actually more than 10 people, okay? So everybody will not work on the same branch. So if you recollect our GitHub discussions, so if they are using the Git strategy, they would be having a master branch. Now it is called main branch, the development branch that is called the integration branch, and then every developer will work on their own feature branches, right? So the same way, so developer 1, developer 2, developer 3 working on their own branches. So now whenever they make commit, they want to test their changes, right? So creating job for every branch whenever they create is bit cumbersome. So they can do, but it's cumbersome. So that's why in Jenkins we have a multi-branch pipeline which will create the job automatically whenever a new branch is created for us. Now let's go ahead and check how does it work. So I'm going to create a new multi-branch pipeline. So before that, let me show you our repository. So I got this repository, right? So SUV official, this is our Maven job, and we have our Jenkins file here. Okay, this is what contains our instructions, like that we have seen it before. So now let me go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you. I have one more question. In case of that agent label, agent one, like mine, when I'm working with my code, like it's not working with the nickname. I had to give the real name. Like I gave Red Hat RHAL agent one, and it has the nickname. I also gave the nickname, but the nickname is not working. I have to
It
provide,
does. It does. Yeah, it does.
but I don't know. It didn't work with me. I don't know what's
Yeah,
the
it
problem.
generally work. Maybe you would have given some space or some additional characters.
No, I have to check that.
Yeah, there shouldn't be space in between. It's for single word. Okay. So now let me go ahead. So I have this branch, right? So now I have this branch here. So I have these two branches as well, bitwise mine and depend about something, right? So now I'm going to I don't have the GitHub, so let me download the personal access token because I deleted the previous one. So I'm just pausing the recording for a while so that I can. Yeah, so I just created a new personal access token, and then I have updated the Jenkins with the credentials so that it will work. So now I have this repo here and I have branch here. So now I'll go ahead and create the first multi-branch pipeline for this project, this repo. So probably I'll choose a different here. Okay. So maybe I can create a new folder so that we can multi-branch pipeline MVP. It's a folder. I'm just keeping it in one place. Okay. So folder is ready here. So now I'm going to add a new project. So new item. So here, if you can come down, you see here multi-branch pipeline, right? I select this. I'm going to give the name. So what is this repo? This repo is for simple Java Maven, right? So it's recommended that whatever repo you are using here, it should match it so that you can easily understand for which repo this multi-branch pipeline is created. So I create the multi-branch pipeline. I click on OK. So here it has some details. What is your branch sources? From where you are getting the GitHub repo. So I'm going to add the GitHub branch source as GitHub. Which credentials you want to use? So I'm going to use my credentials here. So if I scan it, it said OK. So now I am going to give the details of my repo. This is my repo. It is deprecated, actually, I think. Credentials OK and connected. So if you choose this, it will automatically scan all the repos that you own, and then it give you drop down list where you can select that corresponding repo. So I chose here who is the owner. So my owner is this is the owner, right? See, I have these many repos in my repository. So our owner is this. This is the owner now. SCVF is organization, right? So we need to give this thing. So if I choose this here, it fetches all the corresponding repos associated under this organization. Okay, so which one we are using? We are using this one. So either you can choose this way. This is recommended. Okay, so now I have added because they're deprecated. So we are not supposed to use that. We are supposed to use this one. So now we have added the repo and it's connected. Now behavior, how you want to get me the branches. It says discover branches. So how am I going to discover the branches? And what is the PRs? PR means pull request. Remember, we did the pull request. So whenever you want to merge the code to another master, another branch, then we need to put a pull request and someone will review your pull request. He put the comments. If he feels it good, then he approves, and then the branch will be merged to the target branch. Remember? So we added some issues and you guys created the pull request and someone approved it. That is the thing. So this says whenever a new pull request is created, should I create a new job for that? This is what it's saying. It says exclude. Don't don't create a job for the pull request. It is saying this exclude. Okay. And second, discover pull request from origin. It says merging the pull request with the current target branch version. Like if I create a pull request, then whichever branch is getting target branch, use that one. Okay, this is from forks. So forks, we generally don't do that. So we can skip it. This is what we have here. And what is your property strategy? All branches get same properties. So do you have different properties for different branches? No, all branches get same property. Now add source. If you want to add one more GitHub repository, you can also add. Since we just have only one now, we are creating only one here. Now, what is a Jenkins file? How does your Jenkins file is named? So we named as a Jenkins file and it is sitting in our root location. That's why I did not mention any folders. So Jenkins file. Now, discard old items, max number of builds. We will cover everything in the Jenkins file, all this health metrics. We have everything. Now let's save this. See, we saved. The moment we saved, so the job looks like this. Okay, the job looks like this. So if I go to the scan repository log, so first time it is created. That's why it is going ahead all the branches. It said check in the branch master, getting the remote pull request, Jenkins file found. So Jenkins file found, so this job will be created. Okay, now next branch. So this branch, bitwise uh, bitwise man patch one, Jenkins file not found. So you don't see this job. Now again, this branch also has Jenkins files not found. You don't have this branch, this job. So 3 branches were processed, 0 pull request, only 1 branch is added. Now let's go ahead and see that. See, the job automatically got added here. Started running. See, What happened target 2? So target 2 agent is not found. Okay. You see, this is what it is doing. Deploy to dev, target 1, target 2. Target 2 may fail now. Because it is not finding the target because we deleted those targets, right? We don't have the target servers. So now if someone in your company, now he wanted to add some changes to the source code, let's say. Okay, so now he said that he wanted to make some changes source code. So we have here source code. So they say just hello SUV here, right? We have the message. So now he wanted to make the changes to this. Okay, so what he'll do? So he'll create a new branch. Okay, so the new branch is going to be feature enhance our corresponding user story or the ticket. Okay, so let's suppose he has a user story 1 2 3 4. Okay, so create from master. I got the new branch created here, right? So now let's go ahead and see what happens here. So if I go ahead and do the scan repository now, we don't need to scan it, it will automatically create. Okay, but let me first make a commit and see. We don't have the hook, right? So let me go ahead and first set the hook. Webhooks, because it's edited because the Jenkins instance is changing now. I need to update the webhook. Yeah, I process the webhook now. It will trigger the job. So new branch is created. Now let me also create another branch. So second developer is working on this now. Maybe he's working on a bug fix. Bug fix user story 90909. So create from master. He created his bug fix branch as well. Let's refresh this guy. It is still not getting created here. It is fine. So now I have 2 additional branches here, right? So if I go ahead and do the scan repository now, see, 2 jobs got automatically created. Did I create these 2 jobs? No, because I just created the branch and that branch will have these changes. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make some small commit here. This is the feature branch, right? So this guy is running. Waiting for executor rel agent 1. Is executors are busy? How many executors we have here? Okay, 2 machines are working. So test hook and this. So I will go ahead and stop this guy. This is the test hook. It is still working. So I will delete this pipeline. Before that, let me kill this. Because we just added 2 executors, right? So many jobs are running. That's why our jobs are agents. So this could be your problem, Prakash. So I delete this pipeline because I no more needed this one. And what else job? Simple. Yeah, these 2 running. So I will go ahead and increase the executors count from 2 to 5. So 5 jobs can now run at a time. Okay, so three more got added. So I go to again MVP, simple Maven. So I go ahead and edit the target part because this target part is not working. I'll just comment that out. We know how the target works, right? So what I'm going to do, I will edit this guy and then target is not working. Target 1, target 2. So I would just comment this part. So because We don't need, right? It is not working at the moment. So this step is commented, and even this step, right? Deploy to UAT asking for the permission. Fine. So now I make the commit. So I did the commit, right? The job will start immediately running here. Why the hook is not coming? Yeah, see, it came automatically. I did not do anything, right? It started running. So let me kill this guy because I know why it is not running. So the second job starts running. So this will go ahead fine because we commented the target 1, target 2, asking for the deploy to UAT. I would just say proceed. See, it went fine. So now this guy is working fine, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a pull request from this branch. So I go to the pull request. So this is the new pull request. Merge to SUV official, this one to master, and from here to feature enhance this one. So there is one commit. Now create a pull request. Jenkinsfile. So it's there. I'm merging the, no, don't merge. So I create pull request. And let's see if it gets created here, the job. No, pull request is not, yeah, you see pull requests. So this is a pull request PR1. So now the PR1 is here, right? So this PR1. So this PR1 is also got created here automatically. So this is the reason. So next time, if someone wanted to approve this, okay, someone wanted to approve this, so they will verify. So you see the status checks here. So it said one branch looks good. So this branch looks good. This is about the pending commit. Waiting for the status. It is waiting for the integration Jenkins PR merge. So let's wait for this job. So this job is going fine. So it's asking for the input. So let me approve this. So this PR build is successful. So this PR build is working fine. So now you see status checks are passed. So we created multi-branch pipeline, right? So this will give us some confidence. Yes, so status checks are passed. It means the Jenkins job successfully executed here. That is the reason you see status checks. Okay, so now the reviewer, whoever it is, he gets the confidence. Okay, the job is running fine because the status checks are passed. So this is the CI, this is the PR merge. Now he can go ahead and approve the merge the pull request, squash and merge. That's it. So confirm, squash and merge. He merged that successfully. He can delete this branch. So now if he go ahead and see it here, this gets deleted. You see the cross mark here because the pull request is closed, right? You don't have this anymore. That's why it is deleted. If you look at this, it also got deleted because this branch is deleted, right? You don't see this, you see the cross mark. So if you scan it again, scan repository now, so those two will go away. See, it's gone, pull request is gone. So this is how actually in the company people use. It's very convenient. You don't need to create the jobs again and again. You just create the multi-branch pipeline. So multi-branch pipeline is going to create a corresponding job for you in the Jenkins. It is going to add the webhook. It is going to add the integration. The only thing is you need to add the webhook to that repo, to the Jenkins. And then whatever PR, whenever you rise, it will create a job automatically and runs it. And also sends the status checks to GitHub. So if pull request fails, then status check stays failing. So you want to test it. Let's test with the bug fix. Okay. So now I am going to create one more pull request with bug fix. So let me make some changes to bug fix. Okay. So now I have the bug fix here. Where is the bug fix? Bug fix branch is here, right? So now I'm going to add the test cases. So here is the source, right? I'm going to make some changes to the source file, edit. So rather than hello SUV, I'm going to make change to Word, back to Word. This will fail because our test cases written in such a way that it should expect hello SUV, not the hello world. Now let's go ahead and see if the job is running or not. It should run automatically. The bug fix committed, right? It is running here. Now let me, this even master is running here because we merged the code, right? So bug fix is running here. This will fail. You see, this will fail, right? Now let me also put a pull request and see what happens. So let me go ahead and put a pull requests. But oh man, pull requests. I'm creating a pull request. So this will be my repo, SUV official only, master branch from bug fix branch. So create the, yeah, it should show one commit, right? Yeah, all checks have failed because the branch is failing, the source branch that we have run, that is failing. Now this is a bug fix branch check. I mean the PR branch check, status check. So PR branch would have created here and it is PR2 now. Now this will also fail. Test cases are failing. See, run failure 1. So build failed. So build failed. So that's why it will update status check as failed. So now the reviewer can see, hey, no, your status checks are failing. So I cannot approve this. It's failing, right? So how can you approve the failing code? So this gives a good check for your, I mean, the PR reviewer, your Scrum Master, whoever it is reviewing this code. That is the beauty of this multi-branch pipeline. So we don't need to create any job. You create a branch, the job gets created. You delete the branch, the job gets deleted. You create a PR, job gets created, and also it sends the status checks. Right? This is what we do. So now we know that bug fix having the problem. You can delete the bug fix and you can delete the PR branch as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you can just close the pull request. This is not good, right? Not good. You can comment it. So it is closed. So you can delete the bug fix branch as well because this branch is not good. It doesn't have the good code. So deleted that one. Now you don't have any stuff. PL requests are gone. So this is how we do in a company. All multi-branch pipelines. Some people also follow the GitHub project. What is GitHub project? So similar of your multi-branch pipeline only. Now let me open up the console. So this is how the multi-branch pipelines works. Okay, so here is your Git repo, right? This is your Git repo, right? And you have one branch called main. You have the main branch. So now what happens? You will create a job manually. For that, you need to have a Jenkins file. So it has a Jenkins file. You create a project manually, the pipeline project. Okay, so multi-branch pipeline is going to help. So if you create multiple branches, then it will create the job automatically for you. That is called the multi-branch pipeline. The GitHub project is going to sit on top of your repo. So here is your organization, okay, and this has Git repo, and this has a Git repo. This has branches, and this has branches. Okay, so if you create a GitHub project, then what it is going to do, it will scan the entire SUV. Okay, so it is going to create, this is Git repo 1, Git repo 2. It creates a Git repo 1 of multi-branch pipeline and Git repo 2 of multi-branch pipeline. Then it creates 3 jobs automatically. So when next time, if a new repo got created here, Git 3, and this also has a Jenkins file, then it will automatically create another multi-branch pipeline and create the corresponding job here. So multi-branch pipeline is going to work on a repo whenever a new branch, whenever a new PR is created, and that PR has a Jenkins file, then the corresponding job will be created. Whereas GitHub project, it sits on top of here. So it will scan through all the repos and all the branches. Whichever repo, whichever branch has a Jenkins file, that corresponding job will be created. For a repo, it creates multi-branch pipeline. So since multi-branch pipeline has a tendency of creating the branches as a job, it will create after that. This is the difference. Either you can use GitHub project or you can use multi-branch pipeline. So if your company is having so many organizations, like each and every team have their own organization, then they will create the GitHub projects. It's just a difference. There is no much difference apart from that. Okay, so we checked this one as well. So now let me go back. So now let me go back and check the other stuff. So we good with multi-branch pipeline. We good with this thing. And now let me show you about the management of the Jenkins. So how do we manage it? Okay, so now we go to the manage Jenkins. So if you see this option, it means you have full privileges. So you are an admin. Okay, I go to the manage Jenkins here. So again, they have some sections. This is for system configuration, security, status, troubleshooting, tools, and actions. So you may not this view sometimes because this view is updated from 2.235, I think. Yeah, from 2.235, they are making, they change the view of the managed Jenkins as well. So you may see the classic view, all showing in a line by list wise. So let's go and check this. What is this first? It says system configuration, configure system. This is the place where you actually configure your Jenkins system. Okay, so now I click on this option. It is going to give me this page. So if you want to put a message, you can put a message here. This will be displayed to everyone whoever log into the Jenkins. Okay, now let me test it. So what I'm going to do, okay, the Jenkins will be down this Sunday between 2. Maintenance. I just added this message. So this message will be shown to everyone. It's like an announcement. Okay, now executors. So remember, for a Jenkins admin, so this should always put to 0. We should not run any jobs on the master. Remember the thumb rule. We should run all the jobs in agents only. So if you run the jobs in master, what happens? It has so much of load, it doesn't perform well. Okay, so make it to 0 always. Even labels, the Jenkins also has a labels. So if you want to call the executors, then you can choose this. You see, use this node as much as possible. Since you set to 0, it doesn't apply all this. Okay, Now we have Jenkins location. So this will give you the URL of the Jenkins. So currently our URL is this, not this one, right? So we have to update. So in your company, you don't need to do this because it never changes. System configuration, so you can update anywhere. And then resource root URL, server resource file from another domain. So we don't have any other domains. The global properties like, so if you have environment variables, tools location, you can also add those tools locations here. It is coming here, like Git, Maven, all these options. Okay, JDK. The same thing we have seen in the global tool location. So it's coming up here as well. So I can choose this environment variables. So like SonarQube servers, Artifactory servers, details, that you can put the URLs. So that URLs they can access in the Jenkins. So remember we have seen this environment block right here in the Jenkins file. This environment section here, target user, target value. So these values you can set here. That will be applicable to all the jobs that are using this Jenkins. So this is useful only if you want to variabilize some endpoints like Artifactory you are using. So Artifactory endpoint, you can put it here, Artifactory URL and SonarQube URL, AWS URL, or your application URL here. Okay, so that will be here on the build trigger batch. So we have enabled this plugin, right? So it will actually add that batch on the build timestamp. So how you want to print the timestamp, these details. And then there's a pipeline speed. So how you want to keep the pipeline. So let's suppose your job is running. All of a sudden, your master got rebooted. What happens to that job? So how you want me to take that? You always keep this max survivability because if the master is restarted, the pipeline job will be running in behind. Whenever the master job comes up, the pipeline job will resume from there so that you don't lose a job. On the statistics, this will send to the Jenkins. And the health metrics, so don't configure this health metrics because if you configure it, then it is going to wait. This is not the this is what health. So don't do that. It will impact the page. The Bitbucket. So since we have a Bitbucket plugin installed, it is showing this option here. The Zira options if you are using Zira, timestamper, and then fingerprints, administrative monitoring configuration. So this will go into monitor your thing. So this will be monitored. Admin will be monitoring all these. That is fine. And the global build discarder. So this is actually useful. So this global build discarder is going to give you the options. Like as I told you, right? So there are many people who doesn't do the build discarder options. If they don't do that, then the jobs will be there forever. The build history. So you don't need the build history beyond 10 or beyond 20, right? So that's why if you enable this here, so whichever jobs are haven't enabled the build discarder, so this job will going to delete all those previous builds. So this is one settings applicable to all the jobs. Lockable resources, I don't know. I think it's going to lock the resource that we are running, maybe stage and all. Declarative pipeline, this is Docker. So we're not using Docker 8. This is the GitHub server. So this is the API. So we need to configure this. This is helpful for the hook creation. So this is not mandatory. And then GitHub API usage, enterprise server. So enterprise server means in the company also you can use GitHub enterprise server. So now you have a github.com, right? Similar structure can be installed in our company. Because if we talk about the banks, so the banks don't generally prefer keeping their source code in the GitHub because it is nothing but you are trusting someone and giving your keys. You are trusting someone and giving your house keys to him. He may trustworthy, but you never know, right? Maybe he's the person who is working in that company maybe duplicated that key. Maybe he took the blueprint of that key, the password, right? It's possible. So that's why some company prefers that they wanted to keep the source code in their company itself. However, they also wanted to utilize the features of the GitHub. So in that case, so they have a GitHub Enterprise. So they will send you one Linux image, and that image you just need to run in the company in your vSphere. Then it will automatically create entire structure. There are some steps they follow. Okay, to the GitHub Enterprise server. So now you will have all the GitHub features in your company domain, only accessible to your company people, no one else. And the global pipeline library. So this is also very important. So like whatever Jenkins file we have written now, right? So we generally don't need to write all those as well. Like there are some common things. Let's suppose uploading artifact to Artifactory, or maybe performing some solar analysis, maybe performing the some Jacoco integration, Jacoco tests, some integration tests, or maybe sending some notifications. So these are all common across everyone, right? So whatever the common pieces are there across everyone, those can be automated by writing the shared libraries. So library is nothing but a group of functions which you can use in any of the job, and it will does for you. The common activities can be automated. So that we need some setup and all. So I don't know much details about that. I'll skip this part. So these companies are using, most company uses this. By the time you join the company, they may be having this setup, library setup. You can just use it. You may not even write the Jenkins file. They may be having simple YAML file or the JSON file. You are just going to give the details, and the remaining everything will set up by this global libraries. Okay, it depends. Okay, and then Git plugin. So since we have a Git plugin, so we can mention the Git username and the Git email value. These two are mandatory, right? So if you mention this, so whenever somebody is trying to make a Git push, then they will use this user ID and this email address. Shell executable. So this will be executed. Leave this field empty. Yeah. And then SMTP server. SMTP server is a mailing system, simple mail transfer protocol. So SMTP is going to be used for your email communication. So in the company, you would be having SMTP server. They will give you the server location. So once you configure it here, the SMTP server section here, then they can start using this server to send an email. Because if you want to communicate emails from Jenkins to some other system, some other persons, then you need to have SMTP server details in the company. That will be given by your infra team. So we don't need to worry much on that part. And then there are some defaults are there. Email notifications, so both are same. This is just simple notification. This is extended notification. Extended. So it will have so many options available to you. So, and also I can see only these minutes at the moment. So if you install more and more, it will come here. The more you install, the more you see here. Okay, the plugin. So if the plugin, if you install the cloud plugin, then the cloud plugin will have a section here as well. This will be dynamic. It's not static. The changes will different based on the plugin that we install. Okay, so I just made here to this. I'm going to save this. So now let's check another option. Global tool configuration. This is, we have seen it already. We did configure the Maven. Remember? Where is Maven? So we configured this, right? The same way. So now we have the Docker, Maven, Ant, Gradle, Git. So if you have multiple versions, so you can configure here, and you can use these as a tools section. You have a tools section, right? We can use those in a tools section here. That's about this global tool configuration. And then manage plugins. This probably you may work it out. So what is this managed plugin? So plugins, this is the place where you can install and disable the plugins. Okay, if someone says, hey, can you install the Azure plugin for me? Then how do you come? You come here. First thing, you check available. Okay, so whatever plugin they are asking, no, first you check the installed. So installed means, so these are the plugins are currently installed in my Jenkins. So you come and check here. It says nothing. It means you don't have the Azure plugin installed in your Jenkins. So now you go to available section, and you search for the Azure. So it is going to pull all the plugins related to Azure. Okay, you see, I have these many at the moment. Okay, that is fine. So updates, what is the updates? So updates are going to show you how many plugins you currently have installed and how many plugins have got the upgrade. So currently you have 1.44. The JUnit plugin available is 1.49. You want to upgrade it or not? The updates, like we get the same updates for our Android apps, right? The OS apps. Whenever the app has released a newer version, it will prompt for you. Can you want to upgrade this? The upgrade generally happens if they want to apply some patches or the minor fixes. There could be some major as well. So this is the semantic version. You see 296. So any version standard is following semantic version. You always see the numbers in 3 digits. Okay. The least one here called patch, and the second one called minor, and this is the one is a major. So major you rarely see getting upgraded. So they have some standards. If you want to upgrade this version, what is the policies? If you want to upgrade this version, what is the policies? What is the policy for this? There are some certain rules. If you want to read about that, you just go ahead and read the semantic version. I don't know whether I'm typing it properly or not. Semantic, yeah. So they discuss about when you upgrade the something. So when you consider the upgrade of the major, when you consider upgrade of the minor, when you consider about the patching. Okay, they explain you the reason. So generally, this is the major one. So when it introduces breaking changes. So let's suppose you are using a version 1.0.0. So you cannot upgrade to 2.0.0 directly and expect it to work, because the way it is using is completely changed in 2.0. There's a reason, the major upgrade. It will not work at all. This minor, yes, this may have some little bit of minor changes which can still work. The patches, you can blindly close it. So blindly means those are bug fixes. That doesn't have much impact. So that is the plugin version. And then we have advanced tab. Advanced tab will give you configure the proxy. So what is proxy again? So proxy here is I mean, you might be hearing this word a lot from Santosh or someone. So the proxy here is the guy who will work on behalf of you. So now Jenkins wanted to communicate to internet. Okay, so Jenkins is in a private subnet, and you don't have NAT gateways. Now, how you can control the proxy? So in a company, typically, all your servers are behind the firewall, so they cannot connect to internet. But Jenkins needs some sort of internet to download the plugins, right? To upgrade the plugins. Then how it is going to perform? So in that case, we need to configure the proxy server here. So these proxy server details will be given by your infra team. So once you configure that here, then your Jenkins can now connect to internet. It is like Jenkins will send a request to proxy. Proxy will verify whom you are connecting. It will verify whether it is the right site or not. And you will have again allow list and the block list. So if the server is allowed for the Jenkins, then it can go ahead and connect. So all the rules will be written in the proxy server. So that will be taken care by your networking team or a security team. We don't need to worry that. So what we need to do is, so for the plugins, you need to connect to jenkins.io. Let's assume. Then you'll ask your security team, hey, I wanted to use proxy. With the proxy, I want to connect to jenkins.io site. Then they will give you the server and they will ask you for your source IP. You give the Jenkins source IP. Then they will whitelist that. So now whenever Jenkins try to connect to the Jenkins.io, the proxy validates it. Hey, whether this guy has access or not. If this guy has access, then it allows and connection will be established successfully. That is what the proxy servers here. Upload plugins. So there are some plugins may not be available in the Jenkins marketplace. Maybe some people maintaining it as a third-party provider. Then you can download that plugin and install. So namely, so I have a plugin. So let me check IBM UCD. This is IBM site, Jenkins plugin. So I am downloading this. See, it is in Urban Code, not in the Jenkins. It's a Jenkins plugin. So Jenkins Job Manager. So now I am going to download this. How can I download? How can I download this visit plugin? Yeah. Why they are not giving to download? Where is the release? Don't even have release here. Do you see download option? Jenkins publisher here. So this plugin has a download option. I download this. I save this into my somewhere. Okay. Now I come here and you see upload plugin. I choose the file where I have it. See, now upload. So this is how you install the plugins that are not available in the Jenkins space. Okay. So now I got this plugin installed. This is how we success. So this plugin is available now. Okay. So now I go to manage Jenkins again. So you can also select all these and then click on download now and install later. So this plugin will be downloaded and installed, but the restart will happen later. Okay. So remember, a new plugin, whenever you install a new plugin, it doesn't need a restart. The new plugin will always start working as it is. The moment you install, you can use it immediately. Whereas if you update this plugin, the whatever new features they are introduced will not impact immediately. For that, you need to restart the service, upgrade the plugin and restart the Jenkins. Then only the plugin will take effect. Okay. That's what the plugin sections that we need to know. And then go back to the manage Jenkins. We have this manage nodes in the cloud. So currently we have the node here, right? If you want to add a new node, we have seen this already. So I don't think we need to cover it here. We also have a configure clouds. At the moment, we don't have any cloud configuration available. That's why it is showing nothing here. So let's go ahead and install one plugin. I'll probably check that one. Manage Jenkins. If you have a time, I'll cover that one. So manage plugin. I'm going to install the AWS plugin. It's not there. I go to the available AWS AWS EC2. You say AWS EC2. So this plugin integrates Jenkins with Amazon EC2. Okay. It is installing these many plugins. This will sometime it will take some time. So what it is going to do, right? So now we have this agents, right? So remember in our cloud, whenever we talk about the cloud, they always try to charge you money. And meanwhile, they also give you some flexibility where you can save the money, right? So here, if I see here, I have this agent, rel agent attached to Jenkins. But what it is doing nothing. So all the executors are idle. So unnecessarily, I'm paying money for this machine, right? Technically, even in the when you join the company, so you have 10 projects. So 10 projects, not necessary that they will be working all the time, right? So 10 projects may be running 20 jobs at a time. So you may need 20 executors. Sometimes they may work aggressively. Sometimes you see 40 jobs are running, right? So if you don't provide the necessary infrastructure, then they will shout at you. They say, hey, why are you not giving me the agents? My jobs are taking so much longer time. I want to test something. Then it impacts, right? So if you add few more agents, you end up paying money and you don't know whether they use it or not. So in that case, so we can use the Amazon AWS EC2 plugin. That is a cloud provider plugin. So now whenever the job Jenkins demands, whenever I want to run a job and there are no executors available, then Jenkins will have an ability to create the agent for you in the AWS. It spin up a machine, takes that machine details and adds that machine as an agent to this Jenkins automatically. I'm repeating it again. You have only one agent. That agent can only do 5 jobs at a time. In the middle of a night, somebody is aggressively working for change. They are trying to run the jobs, but there are only 5 jobs can run at the moment. But in that case, they will call you in the middle of night. They'll ask you to add more agents. If it is one night, you can do it. What if it is going to happen for a couple of nights? It's a problematic, right? So how we can automate that? So automate means you just keep the minimum required machines here as a standard one. If there are more demand for the jobs, I mean more demand for the agents, then the Jenkins will automatically create the VM, spin up a VM in AWS, add that VM as a Jenkins to your, I mean as an agent to your Jenkins. That's what the plugin will do it here. So let's see that the plugin status is successful. So now if I go to the manage Jenkins and the manage clouds here, now I see the Amazon EC2 here, you see. Now I can configure this. So let's see and configure, okay, quickly. For that, I need to generate the keys as well. That's fine. So name, I'm going to give the AWS, okay. Credentials, I need to create. So I click on this. I need to choose the, do we have any AWS credential section here? So it got added. It's asking for the ID. I need to give my ID, AWS ID, description, AWS credentials for EC2, and then access key and secret access key. Okay, so now I'm going to create one quickly. So how do we create that? Can you guys tell me? No? Add user. I would say EC2 test user. I'm giving only programmatic access. You see the group already there. This has a EC2 full access. So this is fine because I'm looking for this access only. Next review, create user. So I got the access key. I'm going to put the access key here and the secret access key. I copy it here and then paste it here. Okay. So now advanced section, it has everything. So now let me go ahead and check. we need to provide the region. Do we have a region here? No. Where can I check the, there's the connectivity tab. We don't have it. I am role to use multi-factor session token. Okay, that's fine. I added, so I can choose this. See, it automatically got connected. I have seen the region here, right? So now I wanted to spin up in US East one. So US East one. So which access key you wanted to use? Okay. So I wanted to connect automatically, right? So I'm going to use the key that I would be using. So already we have here SSH key. This is not the key that we wanted to use. I wanted to use my own key. I don't know the public IP of this, so I'll add the new key. Private key, I would say EC2 user key. Description. EC2 user and the private key, enter directly here. I'm going to generate one random quickly. I'm just filling all the information what it's asking. So this is my Jenkins master. This is my private key. I'm going to copy this. Make sure that no additional spaces, no additional lines. Fast phrase, nothing. It's a bug. I need to refresh. If I refresh, this will go away again. It's a bug actually in the Jenkins. Apply AWS credentials are this. I want to use US East one, and the key pair is there. Okay, this is a key pair. Yeah, it is a private key. No worries. Advanced instance cap. So how many instances you can use? I just want to spin up only 3, not more than that. No delay in provisioning. I don't have. Session name is not there. Let's do test connection. Error. A problem occurred while processing the request. Why so? But it pulled up, right? Now let's see. Let's add the AMI section and see. AMI section description is going to be Jenkins agent. So which AMI ID you wanted to use? So you can use the machine that we wanted to use. So if you have your own AMI, you can use. If not, you need to use the one that is available default. So I don't have it here anyone. So probably I'll pick the one that is available. Launch instance. So I will use this guy. This is the AMI ID. I copy this. And then AMI owners, AMI users. I don't know all these AMI filters. T2 micro is I wanted to use. Availability zone, I'll name it as it is. Security groups, I keep it as it is. Don't mention anything. Remote user, it is going to be EC2 user. So EC2 user is the one is there inside that, right? That is the thing. It's a Unix machine. Root command prefix, slave command prefix, slave command suffix, labels. I'm going to give as a cloud. Okay. I'm just giving the label cloud. Usage only builds. Init script, this is what it is going to install. So since we need to have the Java installed, so I'm going to write the user data here. Sudo yum install Java -y. It is going to install Java for me whenever the script comes. And then, yeah, that's it. Sudo yum install Java -y. Advanced. Oh, this is the user data, not here. This is the user data. Number of executors, 2 executors. GVM options, start disentitlement, subnet ID, dedicate tenancy, minimum number of instances, number of spare instances, only apply minimum instance cap, I am role. There are so much available here. Connection strategy, use the private IP. Connect by SSH process. Host verification strategy off. Don't do any host verification. Yeah, these are all we have added, but where is the JNLP section? Connection by SSH process. What is this? No, I don't need this one. Yeah, I think we need to do one thing. The thing is actually we have added the key here, right? EC2 key pairs a private key. So we need to copy the public key in that machine, right? So that machine will be created on demand. So in that case, we need to create a machine first, copy the public key, and then create an image out of that and use that AMI ID to launch this machine. This is what we need to do. So they usually provides the thing. I'm going to add the read form as well. Do you see JNLP anywhere mentioned? They haven't mentioned. I think they have taken the JNLP off from this. Security group name, room, AMI tab, root, slave command, remote, SSH port. Yeah, this will spin up the machine at least. Let's see. This will not connect, but this will spin up the machine at least. Label I have given as a cloud. But it looks like this plugin has taken the machine down again. It's not responding. Machine has gone down. So that plugin actually taken a Jenkins unresponsive. So this is how the cloud configuration. So can you see the option, right? So we installed the plugin and then we come here, we added the section, we provided the security details like credential and the secrets, and then we chose which region you wanted to. We chose the private key and the public key should be available inside the image that we are going to use. Okay, so technically what we need to do, we need to create one VM we install all the required packages that you want to do for our agent, and then also copy the public key and use that private key combination here so that the machine can be SSH into remotely. Instance cap, how many instances can be created? That is the maximum 3. So maybe some people running job unnecessarily, right? You don't want to incur more money. So you can limit 3, not more than 3 machines will be created on demand. This is also related to the provisioning. And then AMI section. So which AMI ID you want me to create? This is what you see in the EC2 template creation, right? Same thing, your instant type and your availability zone. If you want, if you have all these details, you can also provide. So since if you don't provide it, then the default will be used. If you don't have the default VPC, then you need to fill all these information like which availability zone and which security group, all this. Okay, so this is important. So where you want to create the Jenkins workspace, I gave this location, and the remote user, EC2 user, will be used to connect to the Jenkins agent. And then AMI type is a Unix label. So which label you are going to use for the cloud to call. So whenever run the job on the cloud label, then this will spin up a new machine automatically for you. It will keep you active for a while. So after sometimes, if no jobs are running, the machine will automatically be deleted so that you would only pay for what you used for. So now in my use case, the night time, in the morning time, I'm going to keep 10 machines. In the night, I just keep 5 machines because night time we don't have so many builds available. So after 9, after night time, five builds are 5 agents are there. In case if there are so many jobs are running, then the cloud plugin will automatically create the new agents, add to the Jenkins, job will be run. Once all the jobs complete, then those machines will be deleted automatically. We don't even know that. So we save the money, and also we provide our customers agents whenever they want. This is a strategy we use in a company as well, right? So it looks like this has taken the Jenkins instance completely down.
Lokesh, no?
Yeah.
Actually, we are creating a AMI, right? When we are creating a AMI, these things, we got a snapshot,
Mhm.
right? At the same snapshot, we can use multiple times, or we
Yeah.
have to create every time.
No, you can use multiple times.
Only one snapshot.
Only one. So AMI ID will contain your details. Snapshot is just like a backup of what that contains. So if you're taking a snapshot of a VBS volume, then you can create the multiple volumes out of that snapshot. Snapshot is just like a backup copy. So you can create multiple disks, multiple volumes from that snapshot.
Okay.
So it says
And you're
Jenkins.
you're giving, yeah, and you're giving like a cloud, right? A cloud configuration and everything. In this, you are specialized in AWS Amazon, right? If you
Right.
want Google,
You can also
what
use it.
we have to use Google. We have to mention Google one, GCP, Google Cloud.
Yes. So this is the plugin I installed that works for AWS only. So for
Yeah.
the
If
Google
you,
Cloud, there's a different plugin. For AWS, for Azure, there's a different plugin that we need to install.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So my Jenkins has completely gone down. Let me restart the service. But yeah, it's coming up. So yeah, it came up. So that AWS cloud, you don't need to practice that. It's just like a knowledge base. Because in case someone says that how can we save the money, then you can say that so if you are using Jenkins and we have a AWS EC2 plugin, so we can install the AWS EC2 plugin, and in the morning time we can keep the machine agents 5 available. I mean 10 available. In the night time, since we have very less build, so we can delete half of the resources. So we can just keep 5 machines, and then so we can add the cloud plugin. So whenever the new jobs are coming up and they need more executors, then the Jenkins will automatically spin up the new agents and they will be added automatically to Jenkins as an agent, and then the jobs will run on it. So once the demand is less, then those jobs that got created, they will be deleted automatically. I mean the agents. So you could say that. So you see the message here, it's popping up. We have added this message in the configuration section, right? Let me see if it still stays there. Configure clouds. Yeah, it is gone. It did not save all those details. That is how you actually configure it cloud. It is not compulsory though. Some company uses, some companies don't use that. Okay. So that is one of the cloud sections. And then we have a configure global security. This is the place where you actually integrate your Jenkins with the providers like AD providers or LDAP providers. This is the place where we actually authenticate. So currently we are using Jenkins own user database. So Jenkins is going to create maintain a database for the users as well, which we are using currently. But in the company, they may be using the LDAP. Like they have a Active Directory, which is sponsored by, which is maintained by the Microsoft. So you join the company, you get employee ID and you get a password. So you use those ID and those password to log into all the systems that are run by the company, right? So one account can give you access to multiple things. The same account can also be used to access Jenkins as well. So that integration, we use it through the LDAP. So since we don't have those details, so we cannot demo it now here. And the authorization. So currently you can choose who can do what. So you say logged in users can do anything. It means whoever have access to the Jenkins, they can do the admin activities. But typically we don't provide this. No one provide this. They use matrix based or project matrix based. So once we integrate with LDAP, then we get the AD groups. So based on those AD groups, they grant the access. We don't need to worry about that because at the time we join the company, Jenkins will be there. This thing will be set up. It's just like a knowledge. And then there are some other things like how do you want to connect to TCP port agents, CSRF protection. This is called the cross-site forgery. So let's suppose if somebody tried to access your Jenkins from another website, another application, then they will throw the error saying that you're trying to access the API of the Jenkins, then you need to send the crumb. So we have received this error as well when trying to access from our GitHub, right? That is the CSRF protection. This is very important. And then API token. So like we have in the GitHub API token set, similarly, we can also have a Jenkins API token. So if you want to access your Jenkins in a CLI, you want to build your Jenkins using CLI, you can also use the Jenkins CLI or APIs. For that, you need to have a API tokens. We can see that as well. And the agent
Lokesh,
to,
I just recognized that the CLI and CDs, I saw so many requirements about this only.
yeah, CLI is very important, right? So everything is to be automated. So if you want to automate something, you cannot do it through the UI. UI is only to see to your eyes, to please your eyes. But as a DevOps engineer, we work entirely on the CLIs, like AWS CLI, Git CLI, or whatever CLIs we use. Terraform CLIs, everything is like command interface because you can automate everything in the script, right, in the Python. We'll see Jenkins CLI as well. I'll show you.
Okay.
We generally don't use the Jenkins CLI much, but I'll show you that one. So that is the global configure. Credentials, we have seen this already, where we are going to create the credentials. other credentials provider. So typically Jenkins has a system so which it can maintain the credentials, but the companies who wanted to secure more, then they use a HashiCorp or CyberArk as a providers. So they come here and register those sections here. Okay. Since we don't have that, I cannot do that. Manage users, this is a section where you grant the users, create the new users and grant the access. So this is only applicable if you are using the local Jenkins database. So if you are integrating Jenkins with the LDAP, then you don't see this option at all, because that will be controlled at the AD level, at the company level. So this, you may not see this. And the in-script process approval. So what does this mean? So what this means is, so Jenkins is full of Java code, right? So it has classes, it has methods, it has some stuff, right? So there are some developers who try to do everything in the Groovy. Okay, so they wanted to read the every Jenkins job and check whether the Jenkins job has this GitHub or not, and do some file operations like read the files, delete the files, edit the files. So these things they will do through the Groovy. So when they are trying to do these through Groovy, then Jenkins sees that there is some potential risk. So it blocks all those methods first. So whenever somebody trying to access the Jenkins core systems, so that introduces some security risks, then it doesn't allow them to run it. It shows error saying that admin approval needed. So when the admin approval is needed, so you can see here, you will see the method, whichever they are trying to use that method, right? So it will show up here. Then you can take a call whether to approve or not. So once you approve it, then only they can use it next time. So until and unless you approve it, they cannot use it. So that place it comes here. This is for admins only. So yeah, that's also not major, but Jenkins shows some things here, like uh, uh, like some security risks is there or not, like that. So if it is some security risk is there assigned, I mean security risk is there by approving that method, it will show in a red color. So maybe I'll show you some screenshot. In process script
So
approvals.
Groovy means it's a software or just
Groovy is
like
the language.
that's a language.
Yeah, you see. So now he's trying to do something. Node, he's trying to use echo hello world something. It will show like this. We can also remove the previous control. So you say approve, approve assuming permission check, deny. So static method, somebody's trying to use this. So you see this, everything is black, right? So there is no harm. We can approve it easily. But there are some things that show red. If it is red, it means it is not good. If you approve it, they may potentially access your credentials, access the system in Jenkins. So they potentially corrupt your Jenkins. So in that case, you have to take the call wisely, whether to approve or not. So that's about your Jenkins script approvals. And then we have system information. It is going to give you the details of your Jenkins system, like how many plugins you have installed, all these details. So memory usage, you see. So it looks like I have used memory a lot here. Thread dumps. So thread dumps is helpful. So this is the thing actually, if you are a good Java developer, you come to know. So Jenkins process everything in a threads. So it will show you which thread is doing what and if there are any blocks. So this I don't understand much. So I just information. If someone asks you, can you give me a thread dump? You can come here and get this information. Okay. So that is the Jenkins information. System log. So this log, whenever you see something is not working, then you come and check this is the only place. You come to log and you verify the log section. It will give you all the details. So what's happened, why it is failing, all the error messages will be written here. Okay, you will, this is the place. If you see something is not working, come and check here first. So that is your system log. And then we have load statistics. It is going to provide you the stats of your number of executors are being used, what are the jobs, all these details. That is for the use purpose only. about Jenkins. This will give you the details of your Jenkins. So this is not much more important also. And the manage all data. So in case if there is any data that is changed or the way it is using is changed, then you can command here change. So you don't usually see this anything here. You can skip that one. And the reload configuration from disk. So this is only useful. It's like nothing but a restart. So sometimes what happens? So I mean, we generally don't do that. So in case if you happen to do this, so like suppose you have a job running here and in behind you logged into the Linux machine, you logged into the Linux machine and you made some changes to the files. So when you make some changes to the files that are in the VM, Jenkins will not show those changes immediately. So again, you have to reload the configuration from disk. You have to click that. It is just going to reload all the configurations again. It's just like a restart of your Jenkins service, nothing else. Okay. So Jenkins CLI. This is a Jenkins CLI. So mostly company, some people use Jenkins CLI, some people don't use it. Now let me show you a quick example. How do we use a Jenkins CLI? So I have the Jenkins CLI here. I'm going to download this CLI jar here first. So I'll probably use a desktop. I'll put in SUV. Okay, I downloaded the jar file. The command I need to use is java -jar. This is a Jenkins CLI. -s is a server. What is your URL that you want to run? On the WebSocket, something help is there. Okay, and these are all the commands available for your CLI. Like we have AWS EC2 commands, right? Similarly, Jenkins has some commands. Okay, now let me go ahead and try to run it. How do we run this? So this is, I'm coming out. I'm using my machine. So I saved inside the SUV. But yeah, I have the Jenkins CLI jar here, right? The command is java -jar, Jenkins CLI jar -s. What is my URL is? Okay, I copy this. And then now I'm going to execute the first command. Who am I? I think there's a command called who am I. I guess there is who am I command. Yeah, who am I? Reports your credentials and permissions. This is what it is going to give. So when I execute this, it is going to throw me an error. Let's see what is the error first, and then we'll fix it. It says authenticated as anonymous, authority is 0. Because it is just trying, who am I? Who authenticated? Am I passing in authentication here? No. Now let me try to build something. So I have a restart is there, reload job is there. I have a list jobs here, right? Let's check the list job. So the command is this, java -jar. They say WebSocket something. They need to pass as a new parameter they're asking, and the list jobs and the name. Okay, so I'm going to use the same thing. I just need to use this WebSocket here. WebSocket, and the command is list jobs. Okay, hit the enter. Anonymous is missing the overall read write permission because I don't have the privilege to, because I'm authenticating as no one, and that no one doesn't have any privileges. So I need to log in. I need to pass my credentials. So how do I pass credentials? This is my login user, right? I go here, I go to the configure here. You see the API token. Okay, I'm going to generate one. Okay, I'm using this for Jenkins CLI and generate. So now I got the API key. Okay, I save it. I copied that API key, right? Now I'm going to pass it during the runtime. Here, I use I think it's auth. I need to check auth. Yeah, auth. User ID is this colon and the password is this. Okay, and I send it. It is not still taking as -auth. It is auth only. Okay, I need to pass this command before the URL, I think. You see? So now I'm using Jenkins CLI job. I'm authorizing as a Loki, and this is his API token, and the minus is the server, and listing the jobs. See, I got the list of jobs here. These are jobs, I have it here. If I go here, I see first job FS, first job FS, Maven folder, MB folder, MB folder. Clear? So this is how we use the CLI. So now if you want to build a job, so let's suppose I wanted to build my Maven, and parallel job is there. So I want to build this job. So how do I build this job? Now let's check the Jenkins CLI command for that. So I go here again. I go to the manage Jenkins CLI. I get the page. So I see the build here, right? So build means builds the job. It has so many parameters. So now I am going to pass the parameters. Same. So same Jenkins. All this till here is same. So I use the same command till WebSocket. So the next command is build. So build. I need to provide the job name here. So what is the job name? So which job I want to build? I'll go to the here. This is job I want to build, right? So remember, this is important here. So if you want to go to this, if you want to go to the job till here, right? So you need to travel. This is your URL. You ignore that. What happened? URL, you ignore that. Job, you ignore that. What is this? It's a Maven. It's a folder name. Job, you ignore that. This is the name. Again, something name. So you copy till here. You copy this, and then you paste it here. You remove all the job slash. So job slash is removed, and then this also removed. That's it. This is how you need to mention. So it says go to the Maven folder, and there is a parallel job. So this will be run now. Now let's see. So I ran it. Now let's go ahead and check this job. So it's running, and you see the symbol here. The symbol changed as a started by command line. So the badge is changed. It's fine. So this is how you automate. So if you want to run the job, so at morning 5 p.m. So you have an option where you can select as a build triggers here. You see the build triggers, build periodically. You can choose the timing. But if you want to run on demand, then you need to use this command. So you can also script this. So you can also script very easily. So now you have a job start.sh, right? So you are going to add the instructions here, bin slash sh. So you would say running the Jenkins job, and you can put that command here, whatever command. What is the command? This is the command. Or you can also automate that. So how do you automate? Like this. $1. If we know all this, right? Question mark equal to 0. The build is triggered. Else. So you just need to use the parameter. So I'm passing the parameter, and this job will be built. So here I'm hard coding the credentials, right? This is not, we're not supposed to do that. Again, we need to have some sort of thing to do this. Okay, so we should not write the credentials directly in anywhere. Remember the first thing. Since we don't have any option now, I'm using it here. Okay, so maybe I can automate that. So what I can do, so rather than I'm using it here, I will just $API. Okay, So I can verify. So how can I verify the environment variable? Bash check if is empty. -z, I think. Thinking -z. Yeah, -z. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, so if -z $API echo no API key set, please enter the API key. I'm going to change this to read -s, because -s I wanted to hide the password. I'm going to store it in the API. That's it. Fee. So I will read that password over there, and then I will be using this. Perfect. Okay. So I save this. Now I wanted to run this job. sh job.sh. This is the job I wanted to run. So I pass it as a parameter. Asking for the password. It did not print the message. I don't know why. It should print the message. So I'm just copying this and then pasting the password here. It looks like it did not take this thing. It says no API key set. It is not taking the API key when I started. Not a valid identifier. It looks like I messed up with this. Yeah, enter the API key. Now let me enter the API key. We should be protecting that. We should not enable this. Yeah, see the build is triggered. So if I go and check it here, job will be running. See one more time. 953, 353 just now. So if you want to avoid that this prompt, you can export here like this. Echo export API is equal to. You can do this in advance. So if you run the job, it will not ask you for the password. You see that. See. So that's what, how you automate that. Simple, right? So that's about your Jenkins CLI. So there are so many available commands. So you can DC -c, check for SCM changes, follow the build progress. It says -f. So -f is going to give me something, right? So let me go ahead and edit the job.sh. I will add the -s parameter as well to this and see what happens. -s, right? -f, sorry. So I'm going to do -f here. Now let me run this. So I can see I can see the progress here itself. So -s is going to give me the details, how whether a job is there or not, success or not. It got succeeded. That's why it gave me success message. See, it ran one more time. See, 4 times. So that's about your Jenkins CLI. So this, you may not use it, but yes, you may also use it sometimes. So, and what else we have? Go to the Jenkins manage page, and then we have script console. So script console is going to run some script. If you wanted to run some Groovy, you can run it here. So now I wanted to run some Groovy. So let's say print the agents and labels in Jenkins. Yeah, Groovy script to print agents and labels. So I have the Groovy script here. So it is given by the Jenkins guys. I'm going to copy this so I can run this script just like running the Groovy script. So run. Print
Lokesh,
you.
we
Here
are
it is.
writing a Jenkins file, right?
No, this is not a Jenkins.
Like,
It's a Groovy file.
like that only this is different one Groovy, right?
Yeah, it's a Groovy. Jenkins is actually behind written with his own language, but it mostly uses a Groovy. Okay, so whatever we are using like stage, steps, environment, right? So those are all the declarative syntax. So in behind that has a logic. So that logic is written in this Java or the Groovy
Okay.
like this. So here, so if we are good with those writing the Groovy scripts, so we can write the Groovy statements and we can execute here. We can also execute the same thing in our job as well. That is only applicable to job. So this script console will have an access to do everything on the Jenkins core. Admin can only do this. See, I ran a Groovy script. So what it going, see, it is importing all the Jenkins modules. So this is a Jenkins library, Jenkins classes, it's imported the packages, and then it is running all this. You see, it is taking an instance, Jenkins.instance.slaves. It is going to all, and then looping doing something, printing me whatever needed for me.
We are using in Groovy, are using in
This is
Jenkins, right?
Groovy. This is
Inside
Groovy.
of
Yeah.
the.
Yes. This is all Groovy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's about your script console. And then what do we have? Prepare for shutdown. The prepare for shutdown is activity. So if you enable this, then the jobs will not run. So let's suppose so I run this job now. Say it's waiting. The job is not getting scheduled. So if I refresh this, see it is waiting in the queue. It is not running here because I added this shutdown mode. Because when you want to do the maintenance, okay, so you are installing the plugins, you are upgrading the plugins. When you upgrade the plugins, you need to restart the Jenkins immediately, right? So if you don't enable this, you upgrade the plugin and the jobs are running, so you cannot restart it. This will impact, right? So what you do, you put the Jenkins in a shutdown mode, you upgrade the plugins, and you wait for the running jobs to be completed. When all the jobs are completed, then these jobs will be in queue. They're not running. They're just waiting for to run. It's in build queue. So whenever you restart the service, whenever you fix that issue, then you can come and cancel that. Once you cancel that, whatever in build queue, they start running immediately. That's what we use for shutdown mode. It's for shutdown mode. So I cancel this, the job will start running now. This is like preventing the jobs from running, more jobs from running. We use it for only for the maintenance purposes. So that's about your Jenkins and manage Jenkins. So any doubts on this? So I'm not pretty sure whether you may work in manage Jenkins because unless you are the admin of the Jenkins, then you don't get access. So I suspect that you have getting access to manage Jenkins chances are maybe 10 to 20%. So just it's good to have the knowledge. It's good to have the knowledge of all this. But if you get a chance to work here, then it's easy. You know what to do, what not to do here, right? But mostly you may not get access to manage Jenkins unless you're an admin, because this could potentially bring your Jenkins entirely down. So that's about your manage Jenkins and some places and the CLIs. So anything else you want to discuss?
Lokesh, I have one question. Like you are writing like a Jenkins files, right?
Mm-hmm.
So either we can write Jenkins file or Groovy file, any one file.
Yes.
Or you can use both multiple times.
Yeah, we generally use both together.
Okay.
So maybe let me show you one small example probably. with how we write the Groovy. So maybe this is like a hybrid. I'm just creating. I'm just writing a pipeline here. So I'm going to write the pipeline first name, right? Sorry. And then agent section. So agent, I'm going to use agent one. This is done. And then I have the environment. Environment, I'm going to use a variable. My var is equal to test. And then here I have the stages. And this is my stage. This stage may be, let's say, Terraform. Okay. I'm using this Terraform section here. And then steps. Steps, I need to do anything. Okay, so I'm making some call. Let's suppose I'm making a shell script. So the command is Terraform Terraform init is a command. I'm executing this, and I have another stage. I have another stage, Terraform. This is initialization. I will write as a proper name. Initialization, and this is, let's say you are doing the planning. Again, you have a step section, sh Terraform plan, and then I have another stage, apply steps sh. Yeah, so you see you have these many, right? So maybe I will copy this. So I'm adding this here, Jenkins file. See, so now if you look at carefully, so there's shell block. So let's suppose this is a 10 lines of shell block. Okay. Let's assume. Okay, let's assume 10 lines of shell block. This is also 10 lines of shell block, and this also 10 lines of shell block. Okay, if you observe carefully, so what we are doing, so 10 lines of Terraform, the init, 10 lines of Terraform plan, 10 lines of apply, this changing. So this here, everything is same, right? Only the parameter we are passing is changing, right? So here I'm technically duplicating my work. So 10 lines here, 10 lines here, 10 lines here, 30 lines of code. So what I can do, I can use a function here. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a function here called Terraform. Okay, I'm going to take as a variable task and I start it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, if a task is equal to what is that, init, then just do no, not this, not even this. So if task is equal to apply, task is equal to apply, it means I wanted to task is equal to task plus what is that, auto approve, right? I wanted to add auto approve. Only that is, then I can just call the shell block here, Terraform $task. That's it. Now what's happening here? Can you see? So now here, rather than I have 10 lines of code, I can simply call, I'll remove this. I will remove this. I will remove this. So now I'm using declarative, but this whatever we have written is a scripted pipeline. So now I need to add another block here called script, and then just call this Terraform. So you're passing one variable. So here I pass the init, and then same script block. I'm going to use it here, but rather here I would call as a plan. Same script block, I use it here. I pass it as an apply. So now you see the same Terraform function. I'm using 3 times, but for the code I have written here. So here I'm going to use 10 lines of Terraform, right? This is what 10 lines of Terraform. See, this is like a Groovy, and this is your Jenkins file. So now I have used both together. So now whatever 10 lines, 10 lines here, I have written logic, like I have taken one function, I have written the 10 lines of tasks here, and then I'm calling this function here, and I'm passing a parameter called init, plan, and apply. So whenever the task passed, it will be used. But when there is a task apply is there, then it is going to override the task with task plus auto approve. It is going to append this thing. I need to give a space here, sorry. Yeah, that's it. So when this stage calls Terraform with init. So this guy will be called Terraform init. Init will be applied to here. Init is not equal with apply. No, this condition fails. Now this will be executed. So 10 lines of Terraform init. Done. And then next stage, plan. The same thing. 10 lines of Terraform plan. Apply. So apply equal to apply. So task will become now apply plus auto approve. So here 10 lines of Terraform apply space auto approve. See, we have used the code here. So whatever code we are using, the duplicate code is now reused. This is the same, is a Groovy. Now, this is the functionality. If you put it here, only this Jenkins job can use it. If you create a shared library and you put this section, then everybody can use that. That is called shared library, that's it. So if you put the function in your Jenkins file and you call it, it becomes local. But if you want to make this function be accessible by everyone in the company, then you write a shared library for that. You put the function over there and you call that shared library in your Jenkins file. That's pure Groovy.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's what here together. And I'll save this. Maybe let's run this and see. We did hybrid here, right? Yeah. Configure and then apply and save. Build now. But 10 lines of Terraform. Oh, we use shell script here, right? So it's trying to execute as a command. So let me do. This is not a shell command, right? So let me write this as echo. Okay. See, it ran. See, first plan, first init, plan, and then apply. So the same reusable code. So first initialize, plan, apply. So 3 stages. So we have reduced the code. So first when it call, it send the init, sends the plan, it becomes apply auto approve. So the code is same. The only parameters are passing in our that shell command, right? So we automated that by using this. So whatever we are code we want to reuse, we created a small function and then we used it. Okay, so that's what it is. These are Groovy. The if statements and the for statements, you will see all the programming languages, they have the same, right? You will see here conditional expressions, regular expressions, and loops, everything will be same. But the syntax may be different.
So we call it as Groovy as a programming language.
Yeah, Groovy is a programming language. Like you have Java, right?
Yeah.
Like you have Go language, Groovy, Python. These are all
Python is a
languages.
scripting language, right?
Scripting language, script language. Okay, so that's about this Jenkins today so far. So we may need to discuss on the Docker. So
So
probably we will discuss
write
the,
only
yeah,
one or both.
sorry.
Here we will write only one or both.
It depends upon the use case. So mostly we've read everything in the Jenkins file, but if you, because with the Jenkins file, you just do what they say, right? Like
Yes.
similarly, like if you want to eat biryani, okay, you order the biryani and you eat it. So you cannot alter it, right? You cannot modify it. But if your kids want less spicy, if you want kids, you want more spicy, you want more chickens, then you have to cook yourself. The same way, the Groovy will give you flexible options where you can write your own logics. Like for the Groovy functions, Groovy methods, all you can write inside your Groovy language. But if you're not expertise in that, then you can simply use a Jenkins file to write. Jenkins file is mandatory. Within the Jenkins files, what you write is different. You can follow the DSL, or you can also write your own scripting. It works both.
Okay.
But mostly people write the Jenkins file, and everything will already be there in the shared library. You can just import those libraries and use the existing functions. As I told you, Jenkins, you will not write anything from the scratch. You already have all the Jenkins files available in the company. You just copy those, and wherever the modification is needed, you do that. Like credentials, like Jenkins stage names, target server details, all this. Okay, you don't generally write anything from scratch. Okay,
So some
so
people also asking about terraforms also.
yes, Terraform is infrastructure automation platform. I mean automation tool that we can discuss later, as the last step. Okay, so you guys practice this. So I'm not sure whether I don't see any update on the tasks. I just received one task completion from few people, not from everyone. I would highly recommend that you guys please go ahead and work on the tasks. So because if you don't put efforts, then it's a bit difficult for you to survive in the company when you join. Because if you don't spend time now, then you have to spend more time when you join the company. If you spend time now, make yourself comfortable with some of the concepts, and you remember those when you join the company, it becomes easy to remember and easy to do. It will also help you to clear the interviews easily. Trust me. So don't delay or don't wait that for the good time to start. Whenever you find a free time, go practice. If you're not finding practice, at least listening something or watch something whenever you have some time. You are not expected to watch only these videos. You are expected to watch the other videos in the YouTube. If you are more interested, if you want to know more, you can take the classes from Udemy as well. Udemy or Linux Academy or some other. So in case if you have your friends or your spouse, they might be having access to some of the materials. You can check with them. If they can share those materials, then you can also read in your time. Okay, that will help you actually. So just try to focus on the tasks. So whenever you have a time, complete the tasks, because if you don't practice Jenkins now, you may not remember, you may not solve those tasks. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow. Tomorrow, Jenkins, we can put a comma now because we need to discuss the Docker, and we need to use the Docker agents, and we need to run the Jenkins inside the Docker image. We have those many options, which we could also do it later. And then we have an Ansible, and then we have a Kubernetes, and then we have a Terraform. So we have these many topics to be covered. So probably I will put a comma here, Jenkins. We'll discuss the Ansible now. Okay, that's the configuration management tool. So once we good with the Ansible, then we will again come back and see how we can integrate the Ansible and Jenkins. And then we discuss on the Docker. Then we see how we can integrate Jenkins with the Docker. And then we use the Kubernetes. And then we see how we integrate Jenkins with Kubernetes. So now you can clear the Jenkins is the orchestrator, like a heart. So with the Jenkins, you can do all the integrations. Okay, so make yourself comfortable with the Jenkins and the Jenkinsfile and the Jenkins credentials, Jenkins plugins. You do experiment. If it doesn't work, delete the instance, recreate new one. Okay, so we will start with the Ansible tomorrow. I will send the invite accordingly. Okay.
Okay, Lokesh.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Right.